going to erupt. They're going to bust loose. Yeah, they're going to do it. They're going to bust loose. They're a powder keg juggernaut. Okay.
Average Joe conversation with average guys. Tyler and Wes with Walk the Plank.
All right, welcome everybody back to Walk the Plank Sports. It's been a long, drawn-out week.
Kind of like the first round of the draft, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been interesting. It was a fiasco. I'm going to say this about the draft.
Well, I think we called it last show without actually calling it, about it being a wild first round, but I don't think we actually expected that to be that crazy.
Well, I never realized the most powerful man in sports on the planet would be the next Vince McMahon. He totally turned this into a circus act. And Roger Goodell.
You trying to say Goodell was behind the Laremy Tunsil stuff?
No, I'm not. No, that's absurd to even think that. But he certainly didn't stop it. He very well could have said, "Hey, let's protect this kid's future."
Well, he didn't stop it, and also what I found interesting, I don't know if you heard this, was I think the next day, I think it was on Mike and Mike in the morning, he was asked about it. He said that's what makes the draft so great. Personally, I don't think that's great for any kid's future to be ruined like that. That just shows the humanity.
It wasn't ruined. All it was a pop for him. That's what I'm saying. It was like a WrestleMania.
Well, when I say ruined, I'd say it's because that's the night he's been looking forward to his whole life as a football player. That's what you grow up dreaming, is to go to the draft, to be drafted, top 10, first round, whatever, but to actually be at the draft. And then he's at the draft. He's in the green room. He's big time. And then 5 minutes, 10 minutes before the draft starts, bam! That video hits his Twitter. And what I found funny was this reporter's like, why would he tweet that? That's just dumb. Well, no, he wouldn't tweet that. I mean, think things through. I mean, let's be logical here. There's no reason a kid who's getting ready to be drafted would ruin his own draft.
Well, we're gonna touch all into that. We're gonna do 3 segments, and we're gonna touch onto it. But right now, let's focus directly on the draft. And I guess, what have you got, Tyler?
Well, I've got a couple things. I mean, most of our viewers or followers, whatever, come from Central Mississippi area, so it's going to be a state on Miss, following majority-wise.
Right.
So I jotted down where everybody went. Start off with Dak. If I was a State fan, I'm not a Cowboys fan to begin with. I hate Jerry Jones. I've been very clear about that. I know some State fans are excited about Dak being in Dallas. I wouldn't be personally, but he went, over the 135th overall, which is the 37th pick in the 4th round. I don't like that pick. I really don't. I know a lot of State fans called it the last couple of weeks, and they're excited about it, but
let's be real. If Paxton Lynch was there, the Cowboys.
Well, Jerry Jones.
This is not. We wouldn't even be having this discussion right now. There would be no Dak at Dallas. That was a gift, basically.
Well, and Cleveland was ready to draft them next.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jerry Jones came out and said if Paxton Lynch was there, he would have been honest. But my thing is, why didn't you trade up? Paxton Lynch is going to go in the first round. I knew that. We talked about it in the last episode. Paxton Lynch would go to Denver.
Yeah.
The only question was, would they trade up or not to get him? Once they traded up, but if I knew that, that Jerry Jones had to know that because he's got more intel than we do.
Solid pick on Ezekiel Elliott though with the Cowboys, but
yeah, heck of a playmaker. And I think he was rated the #1 rookie fantasy player now. And Tunsil was number 4. Not Tunsil, but Trevor was number 4. And Coley was number 5. And I can't remember the 2 and 3. And let's go back to Tunsil. He was drafted by the Dolphins, which in my opinion was the most logical pick for the Dolphins because once that video came out, teams took Tunsil off the draft board. The Ravens admitted they were drafting him, but once that video came out, they took him completely off the board, and other teams followed suit.
Yeah, because good Lord, the Ravens don't want they're known for keeping clean players. Man, whatever.
Well, that's the whole NFL. I mean what NFL player doesn't smoke pot?
It was not that. Ray Lewis. They had murderers.
Yeah, 187. Here he comes.
But
Miami, to me, was smart because they said, look, this is new, but he's the best player in the draft, or one of the best players in the draft. He's here. Let's take him. We'll worry about the rest later. And to me, that's the most logical thing to do.
Solid pick for Miami. So what else we got?
Robert Kimdichie.
Where did we say was Walk the Plank viewers? Tyler and I said that the playoff teams are drooling over Kimdichie, and what happened?
The playoff teams got a butt.
And they
hold on. If you watched Hey Rookie, the ESPN NFL special on the draft, the last episode, Robert Kimdichie he thought he was one of the Raiders. That showed backs behind the scenes of these certain NFL players, and Ole Miss's big 3 were in there, and a couple other guys. And Kimdichie he thought he was going to the Raiders because, like I said last episode, I've been hearing from Oxford that Kimbichi was in close contact with the Raiders, which was in fact true. It's just I don't know why they didn't draft him, but they did not. But he went 29th overall to the Cardinals. Then Chris Jones, I thought he'd go first round. That wasn't the case. He went to the Chiefs with 37th pick overall.
That's a solid pick.
It's a great pick, but it's the 6th pick in the
Chris
second round.
Jones, there's some really good D-line coaches over there for Kansas. He's gonna adapt really well there.
The best pick of the draft to me was Laquan Treadwell, 23 overall in Minnesota. Minnesota's got a quarterback. They got a heck of a running back.
Bridgewater's gonna fit in nicely. Actually,
Adrian Peterson.
It's gonna be just like he never left Ole Miss with that Bridgewater. You got a running guy who can throw missiles and
then you got a running game to support.
Let's look at Minnesota. We're gonna do about real quickly here.
I got 2 more to go to too. So.
They are known to put out Hall of Fame type wide receivers like Chris Carter and Randy Moss. They haven't even had a guy like that. And while I'm not saying Laquan is a Hall of Fame guy, I'm just saying it's in the right direction.
Well, yeah, they've got a main receiver, and I can't think of a name.
It also makes sense why he went to the Vikings, guys. You know why he really went there? Also, too, because of his catching ability, but his blocking. It's going to open up more Adrian Peterson.
Yeah. So let's get to the next one. Cody Core, which I found funny. It was a 2-star out of Auburn, Alabama, but he wasn't fast enough for Auburn. Auburn never offered Cody Core.
Auburn has no business talking about not fast people.
Yeah, but he went 199th.
Their guy didn't even go to the draft. The guy who's supposed to be all-world last year and got kicked off the team.
Yeah, well, he's a head case. Cody Core went 199th overall, which is the 24th pick in the 6th round.
To the Bengals?
To the Bengals, yeah, I actually like that pick. He can sit and learn.
Playoff team.
Yeah, playoff team, but he can sit and learn. And then Fon Cooper, who was the MVP of the Ole Miss team last year.
That's my favorite pick right there. Fon, props up to you, man.
What he did, Tunsil's absence, and then moved over to his original position, which really opened up the running game for Ole Miss in the past.
Fon was the
6 games.
Fon was the one that did all that awesome blocking against Bama.
Yeah, he was the left tackle.
I mean, he was the one that just took over. People don't, want to talk about that, but that's the fact.
No, but he went to the 49ers, 174 overall, which is the 37th pick in round 5.
Well, I predict he'll be blocking for Chad Kelly next year.
We'll see.
I know that's off the charts, but they have picked 2 next year, I think. 2 or 3.
We'll see. I mean, that's ways away.
I know it is. We'll talk about that later, man.
But anyway, let's my throat's getting dry talking this much. Let me go get something to drink. Let's take a break, and we'll be back with you soon.
Yeah, soon. Right
Peace.
next. All right.
Walk the plank.
Welcome back to Walk the Plank Sports. I just got some more tea. Tyler got him a Dr. Pepper because we're on fire, and we got to keep going with it because we're going to discuss the big topic across. It's not just America, it's the world, because in NFL we're gonna get right down to it. You want me to start off with my opinion on Roger Goodell and then get into Tunsil, or?
Yeah, man, that's fine.
All right, I'm gonna touch real quick on Roger Goodell. Like I said in the first segment, this cat right here he's got what, 31, 32 bosses. He's done great for the NFL, but he dropped the ball big time. In my opinion. Now the Chicago deal, he's been very successful with this draft, but now it's looking more like he's turning it into a for clicks and pop bait.
Yeah.
It's really not. It's just, and I like the things that he does. He brings out cheerleaders and they zone into other camps, and they have the Marine Corps there chanting on I get all that, but Roger Goodell should have told Chucky to shut his mouth.
I mean, just the whole broadcast.
Whole broadcast, it should have been said, hey guys, let's be professional and be the higher power. That's all I've got to say about it.
But I mean, in their defense, they were reporting the hot stories.
Oh, they are reporting, but there's a way to report it. There's not, you report it and let it be. You don't slander a kid without having any facts. And that's what Gruden did. Gruden didn't have any facts what was going on. He still doesn't know, and he just totally threw Tunsil under the bus. And look where Tunsil still went, number 13. Okay, that's my rant on that. So now let's get into the big meat and potatoes. Tyler?
If you didn't watch the draft, we'll go over it, I guess, a very quick recap for you. We say 5-10 minutes before the draft happened. It's when the video popped. because I got my phone blew up pretty much as
Tunsil got drafted 13th, and the video was released 13 minutes before the draft.
All right, 13 minutes.
13 down on the dot.
So who got LA was number 1 pick, correct? As they were on the clock, it's when I got.
We all knew the top 3 picks.
Yeah, we did.
We knew.
But what I'm saying is, my phone started blowing up as soon as LA went on the clock for their pick with the video about Tunsil. Then Tunsil went 13th, like Wes just said. As soon as Tunsil was selected, these text message, screenshot text messages came out. You knew then, at that point, this wasn't a coincidence. You probably knew it the first time, but if you weren't sure the first time the video came out, you knew it for sure when these text messages came out. This was a direct shot at Laremy Tunsil.
I think it was more than that, because after King Tunsil got drafted, why keep throwing coals on the fire? I think this was to sabotage the other two from the big shot. I think it was to sabotage Kamdichi and Treadwell. That's my personal opinion. I don't know, but you know what? It really doesn't matter, because.
Well, I mean, if they sabotaged it, they all went in the first round anyway. There's multi.
They were going to go, barring a murder. They were going in the first round.
You know, I mean, Robert to me would be going into the draft was the biggest story, because it was questionable if he was going first. And I started hearing right toward the draft when it started was mid-second round.
You and I both said flat out, he's either going to the Raiders or he's going to a playoff team, bottom line. And that's what we said about Robert.
We've been saying that for a couple months now.
We have been saying that, and I knew that Robert was not going to go past a playoff team. He's just that good.
But anyway, back to Tunsil.
Exactly.
Ben Garrett from the Ole Miss Spirit sent those text messages to an IT guy out in L.A. that he knows. The IT guy came back to Ben Garrett from Ole Miss Spirit and said they're fake. Those are not real text. I'm pretty certain I saw those same texts last summer. And
I know they were fake because of the times and the text from John Miller to John Miller.
Yeah, that
don't make any sense. That don't make any sense.
The timestamps are off, and then like you said, when John Miller's just texting himself, I guess. I mean, he must have a pretty boring life. Those are real. He's texting himself all that. But anyway, and if you listen to Laremy Tunsil's, and this is the damning part to me, or could be damning part, is the supposed admittance of pay for play by Ole Miss coach Laremy Tunsil.
Okay,
but let me get it.
Let's say he gave him $300.
Well, here's my thing. This was someone West before the show.
Oh my God, $300! Is that all it costs to get Laremy Tunsil?
Yes, but
that's it.
Either there's two ways I've heard about this. Either Ole Miss paid Laremy Tunsil all this cash. That was the going into this. That was the thinking. Ole Miss paid from all this cash, but yet
which it didn't say in the fake text.
No, they never said anything about here meet us at this place this time we'll give you cash. You never saw Ole Miss, and if those texts were real, you never saw Ole Miss saying, okay, here's the money, meet us here for the money. You never saw that. It was just asking you a question for money. But the thing is, coming into the draft and all through Laremy Tunsil's career, Ole Miss gave him all this cash. But now he's supposedly asking for $300? $300, that's it. What's one is it? Is it he's had all this cash and the texts are fake, or all this cash is BS and he was really asking for $300.
I got a point. I got a point to add to this. I've given football players myself in the Grove more than $300 in food in a single game.
And beer.
And beer in a single game.
And this is
and they do it in Starkville. They do it in Baton Rouge.
Tuscaloosa. They do it Athens, Gainesville.
Man,
they do it everywhere.
I have been to football games in Baton Rouge where they'll roll up a cooler slam full of Crown Royal and just give it. That's easily $400 or $500 worth of liquor. I know it's not a light bill. Heaven forbid we pay for a light bill.
Such horrible individuals.
Oh my goodness. Does the light bill have chrome on it and platinum? Okay. Oh, it sure wasn't a Cadillac Escalade.
And I think
jab.
We're not even going there. But anyway, the IT guy came back and said those texts were fake. And the thing, like I was trying to get it to the press conference, Laremy Tunsil was asked if he was paid by coaches. His first answer was no. And then you had this barrage of questions about, did you see the text? Or the text real? Did you get paid by the coaches? This, that, and the other. I mean, to me, I've listened to it time and time again, and every few times I come up with a new opinion.
Well, it's real simple.
I've seen it said on that he didn't know what he was answering to.
He didn't know how many texts, what texts. He's had a phone. He's had an iPhone that for probably over 3 or 4 years. What text? Of course he's going to have to say.
His dream light has been ruined. He's getting all these questions.
That'll all change.
And he got real frustrated. And if you, I can tell you that for a fact, because the woman that ran out, whispering away, he said, Neil McCready from the rebelgrove.com.
He turned around and goes, look, this guy from Mississippi.
Let me answer this. I know this guy. He's from Mississippi. And she said, no, whistle him out. You can tell at that point he was frustrated. So, I mean, I'm not saying he didn't know what he was answering, but you don't know what he was answering to. I mean, you're not Laremy Tunsil. Only Laremy Tunsil knows what's going on in his head. And if most people watched or heard that one little clip, they didn't listen to the press conference in its entirety. And that's like reading a book by just a few little words. You're not going to get the whole story by just a few little words. It's just not going to happen. But, I mean, the precedent was set even before the draft, like I said, because Ole Miss was, rumored to be paying all these players. And, I mean, their minds were made up.
Let's fast forward. Let's fast forward, and we can go back to it doesn't matter now what is going on. He is a pro.
And that leads me to Max point.
He does not have to say, okay, all the witch hunt people out there, he doesn't have to say jack. It's over.
And then, like Loris said, he's not a student athlete of the NCAA anymore. He's a professional football player in the NFL.
He can tell him to walk the plank.
And he will. And he has.
He already has.
But yeah, the NFL, if they didn't know about it, which I'll bet my soul they did. But if they didn't, let's just for argument's sake, say they didn't, they go to Laremy Tunsil like, look, we need to know about these texts. Laremy Tunsil would say, she won't fly, don't bother me. Then they go to Ole Miss coaches. Well, they're not in court of law, so they can't be, charged with perjury. They can tell the NCAA she won't. Like, where do they go from there? It's not. They can't. It's a dead issue.
Bottom line,
they can open up a new investigation.
No.
But they've been there, 3-4 years now, so they probably won't find something they haven't already found.
What are they going to find? Laramie's not there anymore. Laquan's not there anymore. Robert's not there anymore. They can't investigate. The people are gone.
I mean, it's like I feel like I'm in math class with a student that, kind of understands the equation, but it's not following all the steps and gets totally the wrong answer.
This much stink wasn't brought up about Reggie Bush, and that was a far worse deal.
Yeah. But, well, let's go on the text. I've talked to you about this probably since it happened, about the people we've heard that were that released these texts and the video and all that. We talked about that, correct?
Yeah.
All right. We've heard several names. We're not getting into that, and I really don't care to be the one to release it. I've done a ton of research on it, and I've got several names. And if you have half a brain, you can follow up on the leads too. It's not hard to do. But do you care to actually research and release the name, whether we find it or not? Because I don't care to break this. I don't care to.
No, you want my honest opinion? I think it's gonna. At first, I thought that, hey, this guy was gonna get exposed and all this. Well, I don't think anything's gonna happen now with the guy. It will all happen underneath the table, because there's what is Miami? Miami doesn't care about Ole Miss or the NCAA. They're there to protect their investment in Laremy Tunsil.
A very expensive investment.
So they don't want any more added drama. Sorry, all you fans that want to see this blow up, but it's not.
But the thing, I think you're right on that. I think the name will leak out eventually, and that's what's going to hurt this guy's career.
It will a year or two down the road, but right now, no.
No, and I believe.
Right now, no, and I also want to touch on this. Let's say these sanctions that are coming down, and this hacker is involved with it or whatever, of wanting to put Ole Miss supposedly under the ground. It wouldn't matter if Ole Miss did have 12 or 13, even 15 scholars taken away over 3 years and a 3-year probation. It's not going to hurt their recruiting, and it's definitely not going to hurt their power of play next year, because what are you going to do? Take away their recruits? That's not going to happen.
No.
Only thing that would hurt Ole Miss in this thing is a bowl ban.
A bowl ban, a games ban, and
Yeah.
But
well, they're going to vacate.
Coaches fire, vacate. We agree, vacate probably.
I'm pretty sure 4 or 5. No, not 4 or 5 wins. I'm thinking they're going to vacate in 2011 or 12, which they didn't do anything.
No, it would be 2010, 2011 when those two players played. But Ole Miss didn't win jack those years, so whatever. But let's go back to what we.
Well, you know what? You want to take a quick break and then come back and
we
follow up on that?
We can.
Tell you what, we're going to take a quick break and come back and finish it up, and we'll go from there. See you guys soon.
Peace.
Walk the plane.
Welcome everybody back to our final episode final segment, that is, of Walk the Plane Sports.
I don't know where you're going. But...
We're hot on it. We're hot on it with Laremy Tunsil. So we're gonna keep it going.
All right, I got several questions. All right, since there's texts, and again, let's go back to the argumentative side. So they were real. What did Ole Miss pay them? Was it from the scholarship, or how did it work out? Where's that money coming from, or did they pay the full 305 or 350, or did they give them payments? And again, did he realize what he was saying? I mean, there's my two big questions. If those were legit texts.
You'll never get the question. You'll never get the answer to it, because the NCAA, when they go knocking on Tunsil's door, he's going to give them the bird.
Yeah, pretty
and
much.
That's it.
But here's where I also want to go with this. All right,
they can't seize his phone.
No, they can't. But here's where I want to go with this. Everybody's saying that was a admittance by Laremy Tunsil. All right, apparently, if you think that's all it takes for Ole Miss to get the hammer or get in trouble, or the NCAA to even pay
$300 from a light bill?
No, I was just talking about Laremy Tunsil, talking about his set the payment. An HBO in 2011 came out with a special, kind of like a behind the football special on Auburn, where 4 players, 4 players came out and said they were paid for play by Auburn. Did anything come of that?
Man, I remember the whole Auburn thing. I was like, Auburn is going under the table, and nothing happened. And then Cam Newton.
Yeah, then Cam Newton.
And then nothing happened. Well, they built him a church.
Yeah, and I could go on a totally different direction with the Cam Newton Auburn thing there. But
that's a whole nother. That's 2 segments.
And then DJ Flicker of Alabama tweeted he accepted payments from Alabama to pay at Alabama. That's in words. In words, it's like in his writing, pretty much, that he was paid to play at Alabama.
Good job for us for not even mentioning Mississippi State, because we don't have to.
Irrelevant.
We don't have to talk about their pay-for-play players, because they just got off probation for that.
Yeah, and they went to a strip club, and
it happens. It happens all the. I would like to see Ohio State's payroll.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Or Michigan's. I hear they pay pretty good up north.
Bottom line is, I just feel. I feel for Tunsil, and I feel for the future kids coming into the draft nervous, like, oh my God, dude.
Well,
is somebody going to do this to me? People are, and this brings up a question I want to ask the viewers. Do you think that because of this, that coaches are going to keep their players on lock with their phones and
possibly.
the social media?
Possibly. But, here's...
Call it the Tunsil law now?
Here's the thing, and this is going to be a great lesson for all you parents out there with teenage kids. You don't do stuff like that in public. One, I don't condone, and I know Wes don't condone it, drug use. But if you're going to be... If you have to, smoke pot or whatever your drug of choice is, don't do it in a public place where there's a chance or likelihood you'll be captured on video, especially if you're a high-profile kid like Laremy Tunsil was.
It got leaked from somebody that Laremy supposedly trusted. And Dante Moncrief said it best. His circle of trust was not very trusting.
No.
They were in it for a bigger thing, or either who knows what's really going on.
I'm pretty sure we know what's going on. I think the financial advisor is true. As far as I understand, this guy was still in Laramie's circle around.
There's other people involved with that financial advisor, though. I could bank on that.
Yes, there is.
I don't want to talk about it, But I promise you, there's other people involved.
How
would he get ideas to do something like this?
This is Nick Saban's biggest gripe too, and I agree with Nick Saban. I don't agree with Nick Saban on a lot of stuff, but I do agree with him on this about the financial advisors / runners being allowed around these high-profile kids. They're nothing but they do nothing but hurt the kids to try to up their payments and get them to sign with whatever agent.
By the way, Laremy didn't have this financial advisor through his career, you idiots out there who's like, oh, he had a financial advisor. Yeah, he's been pro since after the Sugar Bowl. When the Sugar Bowl was over, he became pro. That's when he had
It's legal to have a financial advisor. You cannot have an agent.
Right,
He's
correct.
had an agent since the Sugar Bowl. He's had a financial advisor since last summer. That's, remember the stepdad, him got in a fight? It was over those runners / financial advisors.
It was over his stepdad beating his mom in the face.
Yes, that's part of it too. But
yeah, why would you do that to somebody that big? I mean, have you seen Laramy's mom? I'm talking about, she is tiny.
Yeah.
She is tiny. She looks nothing. My Lord.
But I also heard Robert Kimbichi. I actually saw a video of Robert Kimbichi today. Get ready for his NFL.
He's boxing.
He's
now.
boxing.
Robert's boxing.
Who in their right mind would step in a boxing ring with Robert Kimbichi?
I don't know. He fell out of a window and got up and walked away.
Like nothing happened.
Woo!
I'm good.
So basically, the Laremy Tunsil thing, I guarantee you the draft will be different next year. There will be procedures and precautions put in a board for things like this.
Yeah, I believe so, and I believe this would also help Nick Saban's argument against the runners / financial advisors. They're not good for the kids. They're not good for college football.
Yeah, because Nick Saban's got to worry about some more stuff going down there with Bo Davis. So
yeah, we can get into that too, but
we're not, because that whole situation over there, there's a lot of smoke, no fire yet.
Well,
no fire.
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
They say that, but sometimes the smoke is just exactly what it is. It's
like
just
the Cam Newton deal.
Like it's
FBI.
just smoke. We really don't even know. Man, I tell you what, that the whole thing is, the Cam Newton thing just bothers me. Till this day, it bothers me, and I'm gonna tell you, and it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt a lot of the opposition of Ole Miss. It's gonna hurt their feelings because there's gonna be a lot of smoke with Laremy Tunsil too. Well, and years down the road, they're gonna scratch their head and go, "Why didn't anything come about this?"
Well, I mean, here's what I keep telling people: if Ole Miss, why don't they Ole Miss talk? Ole Miss, I think they're. Personally, if it's me, I would fight back. I would tell the NCAA, prove it. I don't believe you can.
I would too, but you don't know what else is out there. You don't want to do that.
But I'm not on their legal counsel, is what I was about to say. I don't know what's the behind the scenes ongoing is. Nobody really does. But I mean, I think Ole Miss is smart in the aspect saying, let's keep hush. Right now, we're going to have a huge black eye in the PR, public relations department. But in the long run, as long as we keep winning and nothing comes to this NCAA deal, they'll be fine.
Well, with that being said, we got to call it a show.
That's fine.
And we'll see you soon, guys. Give us your feedback.
Peace.